Welcome back to another vlog. This is going to be a bit of a different vlog for me. It's going to be more of a day in my life in great detail instead of a fuller week in my life. But I haven't done one of these in a while, so decided to change it up. So if you're new here, my name is Sarah. I'm a PhD candidate in English, specifically the rhetoric and composition side of things. And I'm currently working on my dissertation about embodied writing and vlogs and feminist writing practices. In this YouTube channel, I think out loud a lot about my research, and it really helps me as I work on my writing. And it's really enjoyable to get feedback from you all and just to sort of have this platform as a way to not only study what I study with vlogs, but also to like enact what I'm studying. It gives me a whole new perspective of thinking about things, in addition to YouTube just being really freaking fun. So I have a few things on my agenda for the day. This morning I am working on my dissertation. I actually am currently on a Zoom call right now for my dissertation writing group, which I lead through the Writing Center, where a few of us meet and we just sort of work in solidarity for a few hours. Sometimes I have goals for this, where I want to reach a certain word count, work for 3 hours, or get a certain section done. Today I don't really have a goal. I just sort of want to get a lot of ideas out of my head and work until I feel like I can't really think about it anymore. I had a meeting with my advisor yesterday and it was really great and really productive, and it gave me a lot of like positive feedback and affirmation, so I feel like this is like a good next step. After working on my dissertation, I need to do a lot of grading. I teach a digital literacy class. My students recently submitted podcasts, so I need to grade those podcasts. I would love to do some form of moving my body, whether that's like a little yoga session at home, going for a walk if the weather is nice, something like that. I really need to clean my room. Did laundry yesterday, gotta fold all that, put it away. And then I want to have a nice little relaxing evening where I cook some dinner, just sort of like chill out for a second, read a book for fun, maybe watch a show. And then of course, as always, I need to prep for tomorrow, which involves like lesson planning, picking out an outfit, just, you know, mentally prepping for the next day. So that's what's on the agenda for today. So it is 9:54. I'm gonna get back to working on my dissertation. Hour later, I got some solid thinking done. Something that I talked about with my advisor yesterday was coming up with specific terms to label these rhetorical moves that these vloggers are making, which gives me an imposter syndrome complex because I'm like, who am I to be like inventing these terms? But so be it. This is one of the biggest battles I feel like that I've been facing with my dissertation lately, is that I'm just like, who do I think I am by like positing this information? But I guess that's what you do in a dissertation. So I'm focusing on censorship and disclosure right now, and how vloggers choose what to disclose and what to censor, and where they sort of fall in that spectrum of sort of full disclosure to a lot of censorship. And I'm looking at a bunch of different kinds of vloggers, from mommy vloggers to full-time influencers to grad student and college vloggers, and I'm trying to have a really diverse and robust set of examples. I'm focusing on women exclusively, vloggers who identify as women, but I am really trying to think intentionally about having a lot of different races and cultural backgrounds and sexualities and religions, and a lot of that represented, and it can feel really hard and really overwhelming because there's so much content on YouTube. But I know that no matter what I choose, in the end I will be able to make it work, and it's just a dissertation. It's not like it's going to be like the end all be all in a book or anything like that. This is just like the first time that I'm trying out these ideas, so taking some of the pressure off myself that way. But I'm trying to come up with some terms for the types of disclosures that these vloggers are doing. So I'm thinking a lot about proactive disclosures versus reactive disclosures. And I'm thinking about the Brooke Michio example of how she really didn't want to share any information about her boyfriend, and she was sort of like forced into it as a way to reclaim agency after people on Reddit were like, I found her boyfriend, here is his Instagram, because she was only ever posting pictures of his arms, and then she posted a photo of them on Instagram and was like, well, since you found out, here it is. And it was like this reactive disclosure. But there's also proactive disclosures, which is like the opposite, where vloggers sort of want to get ahead of things, and they're like, let me just clear the air and say all this before you guys try and hypothesize some things. I also want to include posts from Reddit, where people are doing just this and hypothesizing and sleuthing. And it's easy for this to feel like it's getting out of hand, especially since it's so fascinating to me. So I need to really reel things in. So that's what I've been working on this morning, and I feel like I'm at not a complete stopping point, but a point where I need to take a bit of a break. I like to have sort of two breakfasts, especially when I'm going to be at home all day, not going to campus. And I have like a quick breakfast, which I had cereal, or sometimes I'll just have a piece of toast with my coffee. And now I'm going to have like a real breakfast. So I'm going to make some eggs, a piece of toast, maybe some yogurt, some fruit. And these are just like the perks of being at home all day. And I think I'm going to watch another vlog while I eat this breakfast, and maybe take some notes, think intentionally, not just like passively watch it, which is impossible for me at this point. I can never passively watch a vlog, but trying to decide which one. Trying to decide if I want to like try out a new channel, a mommy vlogger who I haven't watched, or if I want to go back and watch like an old Brooke vlog. I am not quite sure. And here is breakfast number 2. Strawberries, sourdough toast, and some eggs that I hate when they get brown. I overcook them. Okay, it is 12:30. I am done with diss writing for the day. I didn't get a whole lot of words written on paper, but I got a lot of like critical thinking done. So I'm happy with that. I just continually build up my document of primary analysis. My allergies are out of control today. Not dead. Okay. And this document is just, again, continually being built up. So hopefully when I do sit down to start writing, it makes things a little bit easier for me. And then I started to get a little bit, not anxious, but I don't know, teaching stuff was on the back of my mind yesterday. I had thought that tomorrow I was gonna give students a walkthrough of Adobe Premiere Pro, and that was like just what was gonna be on the schedule. But at the end of class yesterday, we had like some individual work time for students to work on their outlines for their video essays, and I was walking around sort of fielding questions, and there were like a lot of questions about the content of the assignment. So it feels like moving way too fast to start teaching them like the technical aspect of how to edit their video when they are still working through like what to make the video about. It's a very specific assignment. They're answering the inquiry question, what do influencers in like the niche that they've chosen to think about for this semester tell us about ourselves and our culture. So students are thinking about materialism and consumerism, but they're also thinking about like parasocial relationships and just the idea of community and belonging and loneliness and some really, really interesting complex ideas, but they are struggling a little bit with like how exactly to structure these things. So I went ahead and I looked through some of my last spring's sections video essays, and I remembered which students were like really stellar examples, and I sent out some emails and was like, hey, can I show your video essay to my students this semester? And all 3 of them responded immediately and were like, yes, you can share them. So that's great. So then I had to send out an announcement to my students and say, hey, heads up, change of plans. Don't worry if you haven't downloaded Adobe Premiere Pro yet, which is free for IU students. I'm not making them pay for that. And I did let them know, but please bring headphones and your computers, because I'm gonna have them sort of make like outlines or reverse outlines of these sample video essays in class. This is more boring than like doing a walkthrough of Adobe Premiere Pro, but I think that it's necessary, and I hope that it pays off in the long run when they make their assignments. Shifting gears into thinking about home stuff, I'm gonna be very honest and show you my kitchen sink right now. Megan will kill me for putting this on the internet, but I ran the dishwasher late last night and we didn't have time to unload it because we were watching The Bachelor till like 11:30 p.m. So we didn't wash any of these because we didn't reload it. So I'm gonna take care of that right now. Okay, it is 1:38. I'm gonna take a break from cleaning and get to grading. I think I'm gonna go to Crumble Coffee to get some grading done. On Tuesdays, like since I'm home all day, I like to maybe like leave the house, whether that's to, like run errands or just to like work at a coffee shop, but being inside all day is not always the vibe. But this is like reason A and B, exhibit A and B, why I always put on like a grad outfit instead of just like a regular outfit that I'm gonna go out in for the day. 1, 2. Spilled some coffee and then had the dish soap explode on me a little bit. And when I come back, I can take care of all of that. It's all clean. Well, those are all clean. I hate folding laundry. Okay, here is the fit. This is my mom's sweater from back in the day. I love it for like springtime because it's like pretty thick, but it's like bright colors. White tee, dark denim from Abercrombie. And I just threw my New Balances. I was gonna wear my Uggs out, but it's raining and I don't want them to get all wet. So these are just the most practical choice, even though they don't really go. It is what it is. Actually, because it's already 1:45, I think I'm going to eat a little bit of lunch. I'm not hungry because I ate that breakfast till like 11, or the second breakfast. But I don't want to get food at Crumble just because they mostly have like pastries and I don't want that to be my lunch. So I think I'm going to eat a little bit of leftovers from yesterday, which was these peanut noodle tofu lettuce wraps. So I'll just have one of those and then I'll be on my way.
I'm also making one of these liquid IV packs. These are the energy multiplier and they're equivalent to like a cup of coffee just with natural caffeine. Megan brought these home and she's like, yeah, I don't think they have any caffeine in them. And she's like, it doesn't say anywhere that they have caffeine. And on the back, coffee berry energy extract. And up here, 100 milligrams of caffeine. But she said the flavor was really good. So, I'm gonna have one of those. Ooh, that is pretty good. And here is my deconstructed lunch. That has to go in there, obviously, for it to be a lot of shrimp. Okay, 3:55. I finished all my grading of the podcast for one section. So I had about 7, I think, left to grade today, and I just powered through and finished those all up. There's a few different components that I have to grade with their podcast. I listen to like their 8 to 10 minute podcast, which is quite time consuming, and I also read the written component, which half of it is a summary written in like the tone and style of a podcast in that genre, depending on what genre they chose. Some did like investigative journalism, some did like a gossip podcast, some did just like a sports talk podcast. So had to be a summary in that like tone and style, and then also a reflection on the rhetorical choices. So what sound effects did they choose and why? What music? How do they just overall decide to tell this story? And then I also have to grade their cover art, which a lot of them used Adobe Firefly, which is generative AI, which was a lot of fun. And then I also grade a quick little reflection if they did use generative AI, what platform and how. Some of them use ChatGPT, which we talked about in class, so it was fine with me. It was encouraged by me to generate ideas and talking points and like creative names for the podcast. And if they worked in a group, which I had the option to work with a partner, I also had to take a look at their like 250 word explanation of like how they divided the labor, just to make sure everything was sound. So I have like 5 tabs open on Canvas gradebook where I like go through each thing for each student, listen to their podcast. So I feel good. That one section is done. I'm gonna go home and I'm going to fold my laundry while I either listen to something good or watch something good, and that is how I'm going to make it more enjoyable for myself. Purr, it's dinner time! It's dinner time! Good job! Okay, it is about 6 o'clock now. I had to take a little bit of a rest. I couldn't just hop into folding clothes. I had to, you know, scroll TikTok for a minute, randomly decide to write and post a poem on my like creative Instagram, FaceTime my brother for a little bit. I don't know. We just had like a whole array of activities in the past hour or so, but time to fold some laundry. I think I'm gonna watch an Abby Aslan vlog because I don't really have anything else to watch. I like to watch an episode of Real Housewives, but I think I'm gonna save that for me and Megan to watch tonight. Golden hour is golden houring. Is that phrase out to say like the sun is sunning, but whatever. Golden hour is golden houring. I stand by that. So I finished cleaning my room. Took a little longer than I thought that it would because I was like, you know, it's warming up. Let me just get all these winter shoes out of here.
And then I was like, while I'm at it, let me just go through this drawer and put some stuff in a bag for Goodwill because I already have some stuff in there. And it just like led to another, but it wasn't out of like a good mindful place. It was out of like, I have too much crap and it doesn't fit in these drawers. So didn't love that, but I'm happy with the end result. Speaking of having too much crap, I have a library card to the Bloomington Public Library and I need to use it more. So I'm gonna go online and try and put a hold on a couple books that I have on my want to read list. Okay, just requested these 2 books. They're both like thrillers, Hidden Pictures and The Resort, which is ridiculous because each of these would have been $20 at Target and I almost bought literally both of them. That's 40 bucks and they would sit on a shelf after I read them. Ridiculous. Okay, have those books requested. Now I'm quickly going to make like a 3-slide PowerPoint for next class. Students love a PowerPoint. They love having it uploaded to Canvas to be able to look back on. This is really accessible and really convenient if students are absent. I don't read off PowerPoints. It's not like, even when there's barely anything on the PowerPoint, I feel like they just love to have it. So I'm just gonna put links to the sample videos that we're gonna look at. And then I need to make like a little quick assignment as an in-class activity. I'm gonna have students, I think I mentioned, do like sort of reverse outlines of the video. So literally a 2 or 3 slide PowerPoint. That should take 5 minutes and then I will get started on dinner. It is 7:26, which is wild because the sun is so bright. I like love daylight saving time, but it really like trips me up. This whole bag needs to go to Goodwill and I have these 2 Kroger bags just with like vases, a book, candle, a mug, random stuff. And then this is my old hatch lamp, but I have a note on here that says like sound doesn't really work, but the light still works. I don't know, I feel like that's worth donating. And now I'm gonna get to making dinner. I typically make a later dinner on Wednesday nights because Megan works in the writing center till 8 and I like eating dinner together. I don't know, it feels cute. I always feel like I'm like a stay-at-home housewife for me and Megan when she walks in from her late shift at work and I have dinner ready for us. I'm gonna make a corn and spinach black bean burrito. It's a new recipe, but it says it only takes 15 minutes. So I'm starting 7:43 and hopefully it is ready when Megan gets here. Good. This is just about done. I have no idea how it's gonna taste, but it was very easy. So if it's not good, there's leftovers. Okay, here she is. Kind of a small burrito. I think I bought smaller tortillas than I realized. But this is what the filling looks like. I tasted a spoonful of filling and added some more seasoning because it was kind of meh. I think it's gonna be fine. We'll see. Time to take my makeup off and hop in the shower. Shower done. Gonna do my PM skincare routine. Okay, have my outfit picked out for tomorrow. Just gonna wear this purpley cardigan, obviously something under, and then black pants. Keep it nice and simple. And it is 10:02 and I'm gonna get in bed. I've been reading this book lately, a man called Ove. I read Beartown by him, the series. I didn't quite finish the last book, but I really like the series of Beartown. This one is just, I don't know, it's a little slow, it's a little boring. Probably like a third of the way through, but I like the message of the book, and the writing is like objectively good. It's just slow. And I'm really wanting a thriller, like the books I reserved at the library. In the PJs, and gonna take my nightly pills. One of the hard things I had to do today was refill my anxiety medication prescription. The bottle says no refills left, so I had to like manually go in and request a refill, and it was easier than I thought, but I think I'm gonna have to like talk to someone on the phone tomorrow, which is like dreaded. Hopefully I don't have to make an appointment though. And that has been a full day of my life. Just made it through the whole thing. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Follow me on social media, Instagram, TikTok. I'm gonna try and post some TikToks later this week since I only filmed a day in my life for YouTube. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.